Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I want to give a shout out to Hidden Soul, one of our sponsors. And if you get a chance, I need you to go out and go to hiddensoul.com and get you some sneakers. Get you some of the best sneakers that are out there. Get you some of the latest sneakers and some of the greatest sneakers only at Hidden Soul. I want to talk about the loss of Attles. Attles, a former coach of the Golden State Warriors, passed away. And this year it's been a real rough year as far as basketball legends are concerned. We've lost Bill Walton, we've lost Jerry West, and now we've lost Attles. And I've actually had the opportunity to meet all three of these individuals. Kid growing up in LA, when you're in LA, and the time when I was there, you're watching Jerry West play. You're watching Bill Walton play. I remember watching the Lakers win 33 games in a row. 33 games in a row. And while they're winning 33 games in a row, UCLA is winning 88 games in a row. UCLA didn't lose for like 2-3 years. So you're watching all this great basketball. And then during the winter break, well, back then it was called Christmas break. Now you can't say Christmas break, but back then it was called Christmas break. And during the summer, I would spend my time in Oakland. So imagine you're a kid and you're watching UCLA winning all these games. You're watching the Lakers winning all these games. Then I remember a time when I was at the airport. I was at the LA airport, going to the Oakland airport, and the Lakers were in the airport. The Lakers were in the airport. I saw Jerry West, Gail Goodrich at the airport. They were sitting over there waiting for their flight. Back then, NBA players would get on regular commercial flights and fly. So could you imagine you going to the airport and you see LeBron or you see KD or whoever? So back then they flew on commercial flights. So I'll never forget it. Jerry West is walking through the airport, and I looked at him like, it kind of threw me off because he didn't have his uniform on. But he's tall. He was, I was real short back then. But I see Jerry West walking through the airport. I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. And I looked and I saw Wilt Chamberlain, but he was sitting down. So I'm like, is that Wilt Chamberlain? It kind of threw me off a little bit. So imagine you're a kid and you see Jerry West. I was afraid to ask for an autograph or anything like that. And I, didn't do it. So that made me a Laker fan. Had to be a Laker fan after that. And if you're a kid growing up in LA, you're gonna love UCLA. Bill Walton passed away recently. I remember there was a camp, a basketball camp, and I was one of the counselors at the camp, and we were to do the 3-man weave. So I'm out there doing the 3-man weave with Bill Walton, and kind of chatted with him a little bit after. And I mean, he's a funny guy. Bill Walton's a funny guy. So I've had the chance to meet Bill Walton. I've had a chance to meet Jerry West, and now Attles. The thing with Attles is, like I said before, I would spend my winters in Oakland. And when I was in Oakland during the Christmas break, I was a ball boy for the Warriors. Do you hear me? I was a ball boy for the Warriors when I would come up for my Christmas vacation. My father worked at the Coliseum. He did some kind of hookup thing. So I ended up being a ball boy for the Warriors, Golden State Warriors. So I had that love for the Lakers. And so now you're a ball boy for the Warriors. So you can't help but love the Warriors too. And one of the nicest people was Attles. My first game that I was a ball boy, I didn't know what to do. All I know, we didn't do anything basically. We grabbed the ball, throw it out. And I remember just going to the locker room, and they had stacks of bubble gum. So I, put all the bubble gum in my mouth. And then I wanted to shoot the ball a little bit. So I shot a couple jumpers. They said, hey, you're not supposed to shoot the ball. So, I got, I'm like, okay, well, I can't shoot the ball. So I went and sat down on the bench, and the game was about to start. So Attles comes in. I'm sitting in his seat. He could have looked at me and said, hey, man, get your ass out of here. What you doing sitting on my seat? He just came and sat down next to me and didn't say anything. Just sat there like no big deal. And then I remember the trainer, his name was Dick D'Oliva. He's like, man, get up out of that seat, man. Get out of the seat. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't really know the game was, about to start. So I just got up, moved out of the seat, and, Al Attles and his assistant coach, whose name was Joe Roberts. Joe Roberts, Al Attles. They only had 2 coaches back then. Now they got like 30 coaches. You look at a NBA game, they got coaches on the front row, coaches in the second row, all kind of stuff. Back then they only had 2 coaches. And then I remember just, going in the locker room, and the thing about Al Attles, he had this voice. Like he sounded like Darth Vader, Barry White voice. And I remember he would be on the bench and yelling at the refs, and it like scared me. I'm like, damn. What kind of voice? I mean, just imagine like Darth Vader or Barry White. Roar, roar. I'm like, damn, what kind of voice? What kind of voice he got? So his voice, I'll always remember his voice. It was like, roar, like a man's man voice. That voice will scare the shit out of you. And then when he started yelling at the refs, oh my goodness. It was scaring me, so I can imagine it just had to scare the refs. And then like during my ball boy days, I remember going into the locker room after the game. Guys are smoking cigarettes in the locker room after the game, drinking beers, smoking cigarettes. This is what they used to do in the locker room back then. Now it's a totally different thing. And I'll never forget, they were doing interviews, talking to the players like a headshot, but they would be butt naked. And I'm sitting here like, so you're doing an interview butt naked? And then I'm like, well, I'm gonna watch this on the news. And then, they show how they had his, actually it was a guy named Keith Wilkes, former Jamal Wilkes. They were interviewing him, and he was butt naked, and they were interviewing him. But they cut off the lower portion, and then, things, it was okay interview. And then I remember watching a guy named Clifford Ray. He's like in the shower drinking beers. I'm like, wow, this what the NBA life is like. You got guys butt naked doing interviews and smoking cigarettes and all kind of stuff, man. But things have definitely changed. But back to Al Attles. Al Attles, if he liked you, if you was cool, it was like he's gonna fight for you. And I will never forget when the Warriors win the championship, they're playing against the Bullets. Back then they were called the Bullets, the Washington Bullets, but they changed the name to the Wizards because Bullets was, I guess, violent or something like that. But anyway, they changed the name to the Wizards, but they're playing the Washington Bullets in Maryland, and a guy named Kevin Greavy went out and fouled the shit out of Rick Barry. And he fouled Rick Barry because Rick Barry was lighting him up. Rick Barry was hitting jumpers on him, but guess who jumped off that bench and was trying to whoop Kevin Greavy's ass? It was Al Attles. Al Attles ran out there and went at him. And it was Wes Unseld, was like one of the biggest guys in the league. He's like 6 foot. Well, he was a strong guy. He was about 6'8", probably weighed like 260. Who knows what he did? And Al Attles trying to move big ass Wes Unseld out of the way. And Al Attles was ready to whoop anybody out there. And if you had to put some money on somebody, I'd put my money on Al Attles. Because Al Attles, his nickname was the Destroyer. Think about that. The Destroyer? the Destroyer. That was his nickname for Al Attles. And I know damn well he'd have whooped Kevin Greavy's ass. I know that for sure. They had to grab Al Attles and take him off the court, his assistants, a few players, and they had to just get him off the court. Needless to say, he got, thrown out the game. But the thing about the NBA back then, he got thrown out the game, but he was able to coach the next game after all of that stuff. And, he stuck up for his players. He really stuck up for his players. He stuck up for Rick Barry. And Rick Barry, he's kind of a hothead back then. But the thing about Rick Barry, he was one of the nicest people one of the nicest NBA players that I've ever met. And I've met quite a few from my days of being a ball boy and from my days of driving limousines and from my days of just being and going to different places. I've met a lot of NBA players. In fact, I might start doing stories that of encounters of people that I've met. Some of it I don't think I'll be able to say because I don't want to get sued. Well, I'm not going to get sued. They did it, so maybe I should do it. Who cares? Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll change the names to protect the innocent. But that's something that I might look into. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, back to Al Attles. The guy had that passion, that fire. He had that voice. He was like a great coach. And like I said, he was just a nice all-around guy, man. He was just a nice guy. He could have been, like I said, I'm sitting in his seat. I know if that was me, I said, man, get your little ass out of my seat. Who are you? That's what I would have done to me. But he didn't do that. He just sat down and didn't even trip. Did not even trip. I'm sitting in Al Attles' seat. But man, great man. Hate to see him gone. Al Attles gone. Bill Walton gone. Jerry West gone. So we've lost some legends this year. 3 legends that I'm not going to say I knew them. I'm not going to say we hung out and drunk beers together, but I encountered them. Jerry West, like I said, at that time at the airport, and I just could not believe it was Jerry West. I just saw this tall guy and I just looked at his face. Bill Walton, I'm out there doing a 3-man weave with Bill Walton at a camp. And then there are a couple other times I did some other camps with Bill Walton. And he was like a character. What you saw on camera, he was like that all the time. And then of course, Al Attles, man, one of the nicest people that we could meet, and a great coach that stood up for his players and that, really, stood up for, if you're with him, then he's going to stand there, he's going to fight for you. If you're on the other side, well, I don't know. You don't want to be on that side. You want to get on his side. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about, those 3 players, and then I wanted to get into why sometimes you may look at the channel and you may see that, I might be wearing something from the Warriors, I might be wearing something from the Lakers, I may go to a Laker game, then I may go to a Warrior game, and the reason why I kind of explained it. Grew up in LA, was a ball boy for the Warriors, so what else I'm gonna be? I got love for both teams, and when they play each other, I hate it. I don't like it when they play each other. I don't like it when the Warrior fans talk about the Lakers or Laker fans talk about the Warriors, because when they do that, then I'm going to talk junk. I'm going to go on the opposite side and talk junk, because I probably know more about the Lakers than your average Laker fan. I probably know more about the Warriors than your average Warrior fan. So if you're a Clipper fan, the hell with you. If you're a Celtic fan, the hell with you. If you're a Sacramento King fan, the hell with you. So that is how I became a Lakers and a Warriors fan. So we're not even gonna get into the Raiders. That's another video.